The total value of items in-game as of today is 164,057,908,467,716 GP.
My name's Tanzoo.
And my name's Virtoso. It's been 11 years since the beginning of Old School RuneScape as we know it. And like an over-seasoned roast dinner, that's a lot of time.
Today we'll be turning back the clock and looking back at the biggest updates and achievements in those 11 years.
After almost 450,000 players voted to bring back RuneScape in its 2007 vanilla form, Old School RuneScape was born on the 22nd of Feb 2013.
Fish were fished, logs were burnt, queens were dethroned.
And those gnomes that hang around right next to the Gnome Stronghold Bank were accidentally killed. Oh, sorry. But that was only the foundation, and the updates started to come like me with a stamina pot. Thick and fast.
We got to watch Bonesaw obtain arguably the most clutch fire cape of all time, managing to complete it whilst flicking his one remaining prayer point.
That was literally nuts back in the day.
October 2013 saw the first real big PVM update with the introduction of the God Wars dungeon.
This came out with a whole range of new best-in-slot gear, God Swords, the Armadillo Crossbow,
Bando's boots.
Boots. Of all the armour, and you mentioned the boots, Dave.
Yeah, the boots.
Well, the chestplate, or literally the nicest legs in the game, the tassets.
Is it really? What about the boots?
There are so many better drops you can get than the boots.
Alright, the Steam Battle Staff then.
Oh my god, are you In 2014, a ton of new bosses were added to the game, bringing even more exciting loot for you guys to obtain. I guess you could say, as the millennials would put it, the old school team ate.
Which is conveniently the number of tentacles on the new Slayer monster, the Kraken. This offered players the ability to obtain the Trident of the Seas and...
Enter the Bone Whip.
No. Enter the Kraken Whip. Attach the Kraken tentacle to your traditional whip and you're left with a beast of a weapon.
And speaking of beasts, the Corporal Beast was also released, bringing all variants of the Spirit Shield to the table, which would leave most players drinking spirits at the table.
As the long kill times coupled with the difficulty made these shields rare.
What's that over there?
Oh, I don't know, Jensen. Is that arguably one of the biggest updates to come to Old School RuneScape?
I think it is.
In October 2014, Ironman mode was released, allowing players to play the game on their own self-sufficiently. The game mode was popularised by Boaty's notorious one-man army series prior to becoming an official game mode, which to this date stands the test of time as one of the best Old School RuneScape series ever made.
Did you ever fancy playing an Ironman?
Yeah, but the grinds for some of the items really put me off, like a rune crossbow.
All you've got to do is get 69 flexion, but obviously you need to get a U-log, so you may as well get the woodcutting level, or maybe do some winter tart, but then actually you might need the supplies to get 69 flexion, so you may as well do woodcut anyway, or just wait until you get your kingdom done, or kill the crazy... 2015 was another year of huge updates. The release of the Grand Exchange allowed players to purchase items without needing to trade other players directly.
And it's more discreet.
Discreet? Why does it need to be discreet?
So people don't know what you're buying?
Are you alright? Why does it matter? Oh, you must be talking about bonds, which were another addition in 2015.
Players could purchase bonds with real money, which could in turn be used for membership, or sold on the Grand Exchange. It also allowed players to purchase these bonds with their own GP, saving them precious real-life money.
Which is 100% what I would use it for.
Yep, definitely wouldn't be buying bonds to sell on GE for currency.
Wouldn't catch me doing that.
No sir.
Who could do such a thing? Speaking of GP, in 2023 a total of 18,525,160,493,511 GP was removed from the game via real-world trade bans. See you later, mate.
Another big update in 2015 was what the missus calls me when I stay up for an extra pint at the pub.
Ah, dead man.
Old School released Deadman mode, the first PvP based survival game mode with boosted XP rates. Players exchange more blows than an Ironman training their crafting.
Or more blows than a...
Not even going to let you finish.
On top of that, we had the introduction of Zulrah, which brought with it the Toxic Blowpipe, Trident of the Swamp, and the Serpentine Helm. Dave?
Jen?
Do you remember when you reported me that time and I got muted?
No, I'd never mute a Jen.
Hey! The fastest current Zulrah kill is held by MK20 with a time of 25.2 seconds. Jeez!
The Dragon Defender was also released in 2015.
Defender? I hardly even know her.
I swear there was one more thing that happened in 2015. Oh yeah.
73, I'll risk it for you. I quit it, RuneScape!
In 2016, the Dragon Warhammer made its debut as a drop from Lizardmen Shaman.
Hammer? I hardly even know her.
Shut up, Dave.
At a 1 in 5,000 drop rate, this will prove a long grind for the Ironmen, and also their newly arriving brothers, the Hardcore Ironmen.
Wow, great segue, David. 2016 brought the Hardcore Ironman game mode, which has the same restrictions as normal, but with players having just the one life, which brought some pretty eventful deaths over the years. Out of the total number of hardcore Ironmen created, 38% of them are currently active, 16% have been downgraded, and 46% of them have met their maker. Unlucky lads. The Old School team also played a very funny April Fool's joke, teasing the players of a return to EOC.
Don't ever do that again. Monkey Banders 2, a brand new Grandmaster quest was released bringing into the game Zenite Jewelry and the infamous Ballista.
Yeah, and we ended up with Steve.
Can't stand Steve.
Neve was too naive.
What kind of name's Steve?
Stephen!
Oh, my name's Stephen. 2017 was a huge year for PVM, starting out with the release of Old School RuneScape's first raid, the Chambers of Xeric. Cox was the thing on everyone's lips, as the rewards were seriously tasty.
We saw the introduction of the Twisted Bow, Ancestral, the Kodai Wand.
The Dragon Harpoon.
What is your problem?
Watching people troll through the raid and figuring out the mechanics was seriously entertaining to watch.
Almost as entertaining as watching the release of the Inferno, Old School's biggest PVM challenge. We got to see the PVM Titans battle it out live in the race to the first completion for the illustrious Infernal Cape.
Watching everybody compete against each other all at different stages had me switching tabs faster than when I got caught locking it.
Wooks managed to claim the title as world's first and even got his own personal Infernal Cape awarded to him at RuneFest. January 2018 saw the release of Dragon Slayer 2, the second installment of one of RuneScape's most notorious quests. But this time we weren't killing Elvog so we could wear runeplate bodies, we were killing Vorkath so we could swim in them.
Vorkath was quickly dubbed the Money Dragon for its unbelievable loot table, and brought into the game items like the Avars Assembler and the Dragonfire Ward.
Assembler? I hardly know her!
If you were lucky enough to get these rare drops, they were then logged in your own personal collection log, which made an appearance in late 2018. This allowed players to track their drops and added a new completionist element to Old School RuneScape.
Expanding on from the success of the Chambers of Xeric, Old School brought out their second raid, the Theatre of Blood.
With great bravery came great rewards, such as the Scythe, Rapier, a Vernet Defender, and a Justiciar armor set. Anything else for 2018?
I've got written down that some guy called Settled started a Mortania locked Ultimate Ironman. Good luck with that one, pal. In 2019, we were treated to another Grandmaster quest, Song of the Elves, which required more 70s than a retirement home.
On completion, players could access Prifadinis and also access two new PVM activities, the Gauntlet and Volcano.
Both of them?
That's right, Jen. The Bofa alongside Crystal Armor with the new rewards accessible from the Gauntlet.
Do you know why it's called the Bofa?
No.
Because it costs both of your kidneys. Also, the Bofa was released in 2021, Dave. Idiot. Carry on.
In September, the Fremnik Exiles quest was launched where we helped Brunt the Chief hunt some beasts.
On completion, players were granted access to kill Basilisk Knights, a fitting name as you'll have to spend 40 nights killing the things for a chance of getting a Basilisk Jaw.
These are used to make the Net is Not face guard, providing double the strength bonus, which doesn't quite make up for the mental strength you lose out on during the grind.
Towards the end of 2019, we were introduced to Old School's brand new temporary game mode, the Twisted League. Players were locked to Korend and raced to complete tasks in order to unlock relics and rewards. In total, there were 194,004 accounts that played the Twisted League.
The league was a huge hit and a change of pace from the main game that resonated very well with the players. It also allowed content creators to flourish with their elite game knowledge to fight their way to the top of the high scores.
Nothing screams leagues like an I am rank 1 video from Solo Mission.
I told you, Jen, he's like Man City, inevitable.
We also saw the emergence of Jimmy's by-release series, completing quests in order of release, delving into the humour and the timelessness of Old School's vast collection of quests.
After the success of Leagues 1, we were blessed with a brand new league in 2020, the Trailblazer League. This time, players were locked to that place.
Misfilling, Dave.
But with the completion of tasks, could unlock 3 new different areas.
This allowed players to craft their own journey around Gielinor, and we saw 359,961 accounts play the league.
Oh look, Jen, I might pick Mauritania as my next area. And solo missions completed the game mode. Never mind.
2020 was a massive year for content creation as we saw the very first iteration of the Gielinor games hosted by Soup.
Who won that, Jen?
The series highlighted the tight bond we have in the community and set the standard for RuneScape video creation with its storytelling and editing.
Hey, Jen, Who won that?
Yeah, we get it, you won! No one cares!
The Old School RuneScape Battle Royale was launched for its second iteration, hosted by EVscape.
This brought together 16 content creators in a Battle Royale format. The size and uniqueness of the event was one of the first of its kind and laid the foundations for future community-run events.
And how could we forget the journey to level 3 Fire Cape with Exact and Rendy?
The two basically played Limbo together, dropping the completion from combat level 18 all the way down to level 3, pushing the game to its absolute limit. I've not seen somebody use that many sweets since I went shopping in DFS.
2021 brought the full launch of the highly anticipated clan system, allowing players to create their own clans with vast customization to permissions, ranks, and much more.
Shooting Stars also returned from the original RuneScape in 2008, giving players an alternative way to train their mining.
By far the biggest release of 2021 was the Group Ironman game mode, allowing up to 5 members to team up together and share resources whilst working their way up the ranks.
With that, we saw some insane achievements like Exact and his team's hardcore Group Ironman Inferno Rush.
In just a few days, Exact was geared and raring to go at 60 combat and somehow managed to pull it off.
Settled Swampletic series came to an end with an outstanding finale, conquering the Theatre of Blood whilst being restricted to only Mortania.
He's made us look a right fool.
He's made us look a right donut.
2022 brought next to Old School RuneScape, offering some of the strongest items we've ever seen brought into the game.
We saw Torva armor, the Zarite crossbow, and the Ancient God sword. In the words of Ariana Grande, thank you. Next. January also saw the debut of Old School's third league, the Shattered Relics.
The premise remained the same, with the aim being to complete tasks to secure league points and also gain Sage's renown.
Not only did we get a third league, we also got a third raid, the Tombs of Amaska.
Players were sent to an ancient tomb to take down the Devourer, allowing players to customize their raid experience and difficulty with invocations.
Rewards included the best staff in the game, Tumakan's Shadow, the Missouri range set, and the Fang.
Rumour has it, the 500k death fee for failed attempts provided a drastic money sink for the RuneScape economy, and that's only counting Jen's deaths.
Cheeky. The first expert raid was completed a day after release by Oblivion member Lord J-Rays. Fair play.
And that brings us to last year, 2023. Where there were so many big updates, it's hard to count.
Well, I'll start us off with the return of Bounty Hunter. The minigame was revamped and redesigned to bring a new PvP experience to players.
We brought a sequel to the timeless classic quest, Desert Treasure. This introduced 4 new bosses to the game, offering some nice upgrades to the original DK rings as well as Virtus robes.
Awakened versions of these bosses could also be tackled at significant expense, which were much harder versions. If you could stand the heat, you'd be rewarded with an Ancient Blood ornament kit, allowing for a cosmetic change to the Torva armor set, nicknamed Blorva.
Shades was the first hardcore Ironman to kill all 4 awakened bosses, which is a crazy achievement. We were treated to not 1, but 2 game modes last year, with those being Deadman Apocalypse and Leagues 4 Trailblazer Reloaded.
This was the most popular league yet, with 430,436 accounts playing the league. Was there a relic to stop Solo Mission playing for a day, so I could get a rank 1 title for a change?
Unfortunately not.
Honestly, I'm half expecting to check the Premier League table one day and his name's at the top.
I'd like to see him theorycraft his way out of a Jurgen Klopp full press.
He's actually really good at the game.
He's actually really good at the game.
2023 stats with Virtoso. The total amount of platinum tokens in-game is that. Can someone just work that out for me, honestly? Wait, am I looking at my bank account here? On average per day in 2023, almost 56 billion GP was removed through the GE tax. We've also seen the removal of 396 twisted bows through the GE tax. In 2023, the best Wilderness KD ratio was 1,405 to 1, which is the same odds as me being able to do the Inferno. The most Wilderness kills in 2023 by one single person was 20,044. And here's your typical player profile from an average, active, pay-to-play player. And that's a wrap for what's been going on in the past 11 years. I'm sure there will be much more to come.
In this year's Winter Summer, we were teased with a whole host of updates potentially coming in 2024, including new quests like Wild Gothic Sleeps and Defender of Varrock.
We've also been teased with a new Deadman mode with bigger breaches and sigil improvements, as well as Varlamore for you Korend and Kebos enthusiasts, bringing a new PVM challenge and Hunter Guild.
A Spring Wilderness update is also coming with a view of rejuvenating the Chaos Altar and providing content for all PvP builds.
We've also just seen the release of Scurious, the entry-level rat boss designed to introduce higher-level mechanics to mid-level players.
A rat boss? I bet you pair got on like a house on fire.
He's alright, can't cook like the one from the films though.
And that's all from myself and Jen, but looks like we've got a lot to look forward to in 2024. I still think you look like that Scurious.
What you on about?
It's uncanny, that's all. Like a Myth-Full arm. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face.
Mithril's literally purple.
It's blue, Jen.
It's literally purple though, isn't it?
Jen, we're not getting into this again.
I will shout this from the rooftops, it's purple.
It's blue.
Are you blind?
Jen, it's blue.
Get it in paint! Get it in paint now!
Get the RGB index on. It's purple. It's blue.
It is purple! It is purple!
Blue. It's Jen, it's blue.